It was a very peaceful day on the West London Railway. The day was before April Fool's Day. Everybody were enjoying the fun, but not some of them much. Today, it is the day that Chad and Mark were pulling their usual pranks on the engines, including Megan, who didn't care for their jokes. It was her least favorite holiday, and every year, whenever she was focusing on her work, both tech engines often played numbers of their tricks on her. Examples were filling her smoke box with sneezing powder, Achoo! Backing up to her express trains, What the? Oi! Watch what you're doing, you clumsy engine! You nearly broke my leg! Sorry, but I didn't literally mean to bump the coaches. And even painted her face green with purple spots. What's so funny? Chad and Mark were having so much fun, but however, their pranks were going too far. And later that day, Ernest had heard about them and decided to speak to them at the yards. Chad and Mark, I think you two should stop playing those tricks. It really upsets Megan, and she didn't like the funny pranks at all. So tell me, what did she do to you? Well, for starters, she said that some diesel engines have two cabs that they know whether they're coming or going. And Megan also says that only a small and useless little engine like me will let myself get in some dirty. I remember the time when I've been working so hard for the past 3 weeks shunting those dirty freight cars in the coal yards while Andrew is looking after the passengers for me. Yes, but still, that doesn't mean you two have the right to go off with some jokes. Now I think it's best if you should leave her be, and we'll carry on with our work. I suppose so, Ernest. Yeah, we were just having fun. We'll say sorry to her too. Meanwhile, Megan puffed up to the junction where Ethan was there collecting passengers. Hello, Ethan. Oh, hello, Megan. What are you doing with those freight cars? I was shunting up from the yards today, and I was to take the special train to the docks to drop them off for their delivery. Isn't that great? I guess that's great, Megan. Good to know you're pulling the train now. Indeed. Mr. Husband told me to deliver them on time so the goods cannot be late. Anyway, I've got to go now. Nice talking to you, Ethan. Later, after she had the cars split up and placed them on the tracks nearby the lake, Megan stood on the sidings waiting for Chad and Mark to arrive. She knew she was determined to get back at them for their pranks. Just then, she heard a whistle in the distance. She thought she heard the two engines coming and thought she was being clever. But it wasn't Chad or Mark. It was Andrew. He was pulling the small goods trains to the station on his branch line. Suddenly, Megan was horrified. Bust my buffers! Andrew's coming down the line here! Andrew! Look out! Stop! Whoa! Find my funnel! What happened here, Megan? Oh, Andrew, I'm so sorry. I was just passing by and I saw those freight cars. But before Megan could finish, Chad and Mark arrived. They both heard a crash and puffed over to see what happened. Mr. Newton was on board. What on earth is going on here? Megan, explain yourself. I always shunted the freight cars into the track here because Chad and Mark had been pulling some dirty pranks on me too much, so I've just had enough and decided to get them back for causing me trouble. Is that true, you two? Yes, sir. It's true, sir. Ernest told us that we've been doing this too far, and we didn't know that until now. And we're really sorry, Megan. That's alright, you two. And I guess I'm sorry I caused you into this mess, Andrew. That's alright, Megan. I didn't know you only doing this to get back at Chad and Mark. Indeed. Now with that settled, I'll send Ernest to help you back on the rails, Andrew. You shall be going to the works to be mended. Yes, sir. But what about my train, and who's going to look after my branch line? I think Mark can take them to deliver goods, and Chad will do your work on your branch line for a while. And as for Megan, I will have a word with her. Soon after the mess were cleared away, Megan and Mr. Newton went to the big station where he'd like have a stern word with her. I'm sorry, sir. I should think so too, Megan. Now you will stay in the sheds until you are wanted. But before that, thanks to your good idea about pulling the best prank, both Chad and Mark were no longer playing tricks on you, so that they knew now not to be cheeky to you again. For that, you shall have a new coat of paint. Oh, thank you, sir. That will be a nice change. What on earth? April Fools, Megan! Ha ha, very funny. April Fools on me. Blah blah blah.